All right, welcome back, everybody, for a new episode of Chasing Ghosts. This is the video series where I talk about those hard to find, those impossible to find comics, those things you just don't see at your LCS when you go in there every week. These are some books you might have to do some legwork, get lucky, and really do some research to kind of track down any available copies because they're just not enough to go around in a lot of cases. Now, hopefully you're enjoying this series still, along with everything else here on the channel. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, subscribe, hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Make sure you check out the live tax show tomorrow when I announce a brand new set of giveaways coming up this month of December. We're going to do 12 Days of Christmas, and I will be giving away 12 prizes to viewers. So if you want to know more, make sure you join us tomorrow as we'll start to break it down, as well as give you the new Wizard Rewind for December, the month of December. So I got that all set to go for tomorrow as well. So it's going to be a fun show. So come join the live chat. And yeah. And with that all said, if you want to see what potential ghosts I have for you this week to present, just hang on for a few seconds after the intro and I will be right back. Okay, so for this week, we do not have a running theme of any kind. There's no Go-Go Power Rangers movie posters, no Alex Ross 75th anniversaries. This is going back to just a random selection of a few different titles that have some interesting incentives to see how tough they are to actually find. And our first book is going to tie into something that I was going to talk about on Dollar Bin Digging last week, but I never got around to filming it because Thanksgiving was Thursday and I just didn't have time. It was Thanksgiving. I just didn't have time to film a video. So that video is getting pushed. I'm probably still going to put the materials together and film it for this week. So just give you a little sneak peek. We're going to be talking a little bit of Hyperion. So not just this book, but you know, I got a couple options for you. But for this show, we do have Hyperion #1, the 1 in 25 incentive variant. This one done by Emanuela Lupacchino from March of 2016. Again, a 1 in 25 incentive for this Superman like knockoff that Marvel has that's part of Squadron Supreme. And you got this solo title spinoff that ran about 6 issues, I think, back in 2016. And there were a couple of incentives. So that's what we're here to look at today, starting with our first issue, which had an estimated print run of about 31,000. So that makes our 1 in 25 around 1,200, almost 1,300 copies. Solid number, not too low. So there are probably copies out there, but there's not that many in the census. Only 3 graded copies. So there's only 1 9.8 and 2 9.6s for this Lupacchino variant. So keep that in mind as well. High quality, nice copies are probably higher grades are not that easy to come by, or at least people just haven't subbed them to get graded. I don't know. You decide. That said, there haven't been any that have sold within the last 3 months, so I have no sales to report for you, unfortunately. And when we look at what's listed for sale, I couldn't find any. For whatever reason, nobody has this cover for sale. You would think with 1,300 copies, they would have copies available, but I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing any. Maybe my search was off. I don't know. But that said, I couldn't find this one. But to be fair, there was more than one 1 in 25 for this book, as I'm about to share with you the other 1 in 25. Granted, I don't know how shops get qualified for these. I don't know if they get one of each, like if they qualify, or they just get one. They got to pick and choose. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they would probably get one of each. But some shops might forget. They might not have noticed. And they didn't get this one because they wanted the Black Panther cover. At the time, Black Panther was just about to come to, the Marvel screens and all that stuff. So Black Panther was a big deal at the time. And it was the 50th anniversary of the Black Panther. So this cover was definitely more interesting to shop owners. This is the Kieran Grant cover. Also, again, 125, same details. So print run, same. Estimated incentive, same. Because, again, It's also a 1 in 25. But this one has, well, all of 10 copies in the census. Still not a lot. Only 6 9.8s, 3 9.6s, and a lone 9.4 to give us our 10. So definitely not a lot of copies in the census, at least I'm saying. And no copies have sold. Just like the other book, we haven't had any recent sales of this book in the last 3 months. But unlike the Lupacino cover, the Kieran Grant cover does have 2 copies available right now. One for $50 raw and one for $80 raw are the 2 asking prices. So if you're interested, that's your market right now. That's what you got to deal with. That's what you got to look for. If you want to go find this random, like, Black Panther on a Hyperion cover, like, that's pretty random if you ask me. But it's what's out there. Now we're going to go to number 2. Sticking with this series for a couple of issues. Issue 2. Pretty cool cover here by Mike Diodato. Also a 1 in 25 that came out the next month, April of 2016. So we get issue 2 of Hyperion coming right at you. I like this cover. I mean, it gives you a lot of, reminds me a lot of like Rising Stars and the Squadron Supreme that also came out. It's because, well, it's the same character, but I don't know. Just something about it. It just seems very familiar when I look at this cover. But that said, there aren't nearly as many printed for this one. So the estimated print run in issue 2 dropped all the way down to about 16,000. So that gives our 1 in 25 estimate maybe about 650 copies. Again, these are estimates. These are not concrete numbers. This is just based on the best information that's available to us. Get the estimated print run off of Comic-Con, do the basic ratio math. That's our guess. That's our guess to give you these estimates. Again, nothing here is set in stone. So with that, what I can tell you is that we only have 1 copy in the CGC census for this book, and it's a 9.8, but there's only 1, all by itself. And we did have a sale. We had 1 sale. It sold for all of $9.61 out of the UK. So with the $18, $19 shipping, this still was almost a $30 sale. But still, sale price is still about $10. But when you factor in the shipping, it is about $30, $30 purchase. And with that, we do have a copy available. If you wanted to go shopping, you got 1. And it does want $50. So just putting that out there. They accept best offers, but the asking price on this one is $50 for the single copy I could find out there for this book. Interesting. That's what's out there if you were curious. Now we have 1 more in the Hyperion series, and I kind of like it. I kind of like this whole billboard theme and the reflection with the fire and the flames. It, I don't know. I kind of dig this one, but I also am a fan of Dan Panosian. Like, I do like his art and I like his perspective on things. And this is the Dan Panosian variant for number 3, May of 2016. Also a 1 in 25. Print run dips even more down to about 13,000. So that would make our estimate for the incentive maybe about 528 copies. Maybe. Again, estimate, but still not going to be a lot. Not going to be a lot for this book. And speaking of not a lot, we only have 1 graded copy, and it's a 9.6. So no 9.8s for this book, just 1 9.6 available on the census right now. I should say not available, but on the census. No copies have sold either in the last 3 months. Again, there's nobody shopping for Hyperion books. Again, he's not the most popular Marvel character in the world, but I do have a feeling he could be. You never know if they decide to cast him. And that's the Superman type character. Again, I'm getting ahead of myself, but that's what I was going to do for Dollar Bin Digging. But we'll do it on Thursday instead. But for this book, we do have 2 copies available. And I did get an offer from, because I started watching, I was like looking at that $19 copy. I did get an offer from the seller that was also like, I don't know, 10 or 15% off on top of that. And I was like, well, maybe I might. I don't know. I haven't, but I might go for that one. But yeah, if you guys want it, you guys can have it if you get there first. But there's only 2. There's a 9.6. That lone 9.6 is up for $100, and then there's a raw copy just under $20. So there's your market for right now. So with that, we're wrapping up our Hyperion segment. That's the couple of books that we had for Hyperion, and we're going to stick with the Marvel, and we're going to stick with the off-brand characters. Well, maybe not off-brand, but the lesser-known characters, and stick with another series that came out around the same time. That's also kind of interesting in the fact that it's not heavily printed, and they have some incentive variants. So that's what I like to look into. That makes me curious. So let's take a look at Star Brand and Nightmask. Again, not the most popular characters in the Marvel universe, and tag team together. These came out in just at the end of 2015. Another Emanuela Lupacino cover, 1 in 25 for issue 1. This came out December of 2015. Estimated print run about 27,000, which would give our incentive maybe around 1,100 copies. A little less than our Hyperion one, but not by much. CG76 has a decent amount, though, as opposed to Hyperion. There are 29 copies in the census, and 27 of them are 9.8s. And then there's one 9.6 and one 9.4. But yeah, some people got this book subbed, and they got high grades. So there it is. What sold? We do have one sale. We have one sale for all of $6. $6 this sold for back in September. Again, just because a book's hard to find doesn't automatically make it expensive. Sometimes these things are very cheap. And they might not be ghosts, but they could just be hard to find, as is the case where we do have a few copies available for this one. We'll just put this one out there. Here are 3 examples ranging from $5 to $10 to up to $30 raw. And then there's more than this out there, more than just these 3. But a decent amount of copies available, and the prices are not that bad. Granted, $5, but then shipping's $10, and then $10 with $5 ship, so it's really $15. But that's what you're looking at here. If you were curious, that's the market for Star Brand and Nightmask 1. Now, what about issue 2? Issue 2 probably going to dip like Hyperion did, right? That's our best guess. Erica Henderson did the cover here in January 2016. 1 in 25 incentive. You got both characters on the cover. And yeah, this one dipped pretty hard. This dipped down to about 11,000. So only about 467 potential copies for this incentive, if we do that basic ratio math. So this one dipped hard. And with that, there are no copies graded in the census for this book. Nobody bothered to sub this thing, the CGC at least. And no one has bought one in the last 3 months either. So we haven't seen one come up for sale and actually sell. But we have seen some come up for sale because we do have 2 available right now. There are 2 available, all of $8 and $12. Granted, the $12 is coming out of the UK, so for US buyers, that's going to be closer to $30 out of your pocket. But $8 is the cheapest. So this can be had under 500 copies. It's interesting. It's intriguing to me. This is the kind of book I like to buy for cheap. I don't even know if $8 is cheap enough, though, because I'm pretty cheap. I like buying these things for like under $5 if I can get them. But I'm curious. Unless like the cover really grabs me. This cover's okay, but it's not really speaking to me in the sense that I have to have this. I mean, it's cool. We got Empire State University in the background. You got the 2 characters, some bright colors, sure. Low print, hard to find, absolutely. Maybe $8. I don't know. That said, we do have issue 3, as you might guess. Marvel seems to have gone like at this time frame. They did 3. Like they just like, we're giving you incentives, but we're only giving you incentives on the first 3 issues, and then we're cutting you off for most titles. And that's what happened here. So issue 3 was also gifted a 1 in 25 incentives. This time by Ramon Villalobos. February 2016, this 1 in 25. And the print run dips again, dipping under 10,000, dipping under 9,000 even. So the incentive here is all of maybe 350-ish copies. Not a lot. But somebody submitted one. There is one in the census, but it's only a 9.2. So that first 9.8 copy could be out there somewhere. Well, get to looking. As you might have guessed, again, nobody's shopping for Star Brand and Nightmask, so there are no copies sold. No copies sold of this book. However, just like our last book, we've got 2. There's 2 available, 2 on the market. Granted, they're looking for a little bit more than that $8 ask. They're looking for $22. So around $20 will get you issue 3 if you are so inclined. It's a pretty fun cover. It looks like they're outside at a party. Familiar kind of scene. Eating a burrito, maybe? I don't know. Rocking his phone. Definitely a different type cover. If this was $8, I might buy it because it's odd and weird. Don't know if I want to buy it for 20, but that's just personal. Granted, this thing's hard to find. As you can see in the print run numbers, if they're anywhere close to those estimates, there aren't a lot of these. So these are decent prices under ratio, realistically. But like I said, I'm pretty cheap. I'm just giving you my perspective. I'm giving you the info. You do what you want with it. I'm not here trying to create FOMO, not here trying to spend your money. I'm just sharing some interesting things, or at least what I find interesting about some books, and just giving you some idea of how many are out there potentially, how many are in the census, what a copies sell for, and what are copies available for. So, yeah, you make a call what you want to do with this info. That said, we're going to move off of Starbrand and Nightmask because Marvel did. They did no more incentives. So we're bouncing from that title, and we're going to shift it on over to Wolverines. If you watched one of my pickups videos from a couple of weeks ago, you'll see that I did buy this Delato. This is a 1 in 25 by Gabriel Delato on Wolverines, Sabretooth cover. Pretty cool. I like it. I like the two in the background. I got this for very, very cheap. It came out in January 2015. Decent print run of about 73,000. So there are almost 3,000 copies of this 1 in 25 incentive. So this one has plenty of copies printed if we go off of these estimates. And in the census, there are 27. I would expect it a little bit more, but there are 27 with 29.8s, 496s, and then a few others going all the way down to an 8.0. So somebody submitted an 8.0, which is kind of weird, but oh, it's a signature series. All right, so they wanted to get that signature, and that's probably what they had. Fine. Copies sold on this. We did have two. We had two sold copies. And I think that one might have been me, the 99 cents, because I'm not sure where I bought it, but that might have been me getting this for 99 cents. If not, somebody else got this for 99 cents. But like I told you, I did buy one of these and I got it at all, off eBay, and I did it in one of my pickup shows. So that might have been the one. I'm not positive. Oh, wait, I am positive because yes, that was me. 99 cents. And you can see the signature series, a 9.8, asking for $850. I forgot I put that in. Yes, that was me. Dollar online. You can even go dollar bin digging on eBay for incentive variants, apparently. And as I said, there's plenty of copies of this one out there. So keep that in mind. More than these four, and there's four options here from $25, $30 raw, $20 raw as well, and $180 for 9.8. So there you go. It's not a tough one to find. Like I said, close to 3,000 copies. But I wanted to look at it anyway because one, I bought one. I got it for 99 cents. But two, I like this series because there are some good covers here, apart from this one, which I do like. Again, this is Gabriel Delato. I'm a fan. We'll cover Delato at some point on a quick artist retrospective on Hidden Gems one of these days. But I do have, I'm a fan of his work, so I like his covers. Just like I do like the next book too. I do not have this one though. This is issue 2. Issue 2. This is an Alex Maleev cover of Mystique. I dig it. I like this cover. I'm pretty sure. I think some people have posted about this lately, or maybe within the last month or so, maybe on IG, because I have seen this cover somewhere. I can't remember who posted it. My apologies. I give you credit if I remembered, but I don't remember who it was, and I'm not going back through all those feeds to try to figure it out. But I'm sure somebody shared it because it did put this in my head to keep it in mind, and made me think of, hey, let's look at these Wolverines books now. Again, 1 in 25, Alex Maleev, also January 2015, because these ones came out weekly. At the time, this Wolverines title was a weekly title. So we're going to do a few of these, and they're all January 2015. Despite that fact, issue 2 dipped to 43,000. Still a decent number of a print run, but going from 70 plus down to 43 is a hefty dip to issue 2. So our incentive went from close to 3,000 down to about 1,700 for this one. More copies in the census for this issue 2 because, again, it's a pre-cover. 47 to be exact. 34 9.8, 696s, and then a few others. This book also sells. So there are copies sold that we can look at, and it sells for anywhere from $50 to $70 to $150 raw. Decent amount of copies of this book, but prices are there because, again, cover art's drawn interest. And if you want one, you could find them. You can find copies. They're just not that cheap. Well, one of them is, or was, because there was a $15 copy, a $45 copy, and a $70 copy. But yeah, I bought this because it was $15. I told you I liked it, and I don't generally like to pay that much for an incentive variant, but it's still under ratio, and it's a cover that I liked. So for $15, I'm buying it, and I did. So that one's no longer there. So we can move that one to the sale pile, but there's still more copies available if you wanted to go and look. So this one's not going to get that ghost for this week. But let's keep moving because I like the next cover too. For whatever reason, these Wolverines had some really nice incentive variants because I really like this one too. There's X23. There's Gerald Perel, if I'm saying the name right. Again, same month because it's weekly, January 2015, 1 in 25. Print run maintains though. After that dip from issue 1, it's still about 42,000. So we still have about 1,700 copies for this one as well. And I like it. I like it. I want it. There's a lot of copies in the census for this one, though. 169 to be exact. 117 9.8s, 37 9.6s, and then a few others filling that out. But 170 copies in the census is it's a big number for what we normally do here, for what we normally look at. I mean, some of these books had none and one earlier. Now we got 170. That said, this also sells, and it doesn't sell for cheap. 7 bids got one to $41. 9 bids on a 9.8 got it to $122, which might be a deal considering same month $100 raw. So $100 raw to $122.50 for a 9.8. I'd probably pay $22 for a 9.8 guaranteed premium because it's going to cost you more than that to grade it, right? So that's not too bad. That said, I don't want to pay $100 for this because again, I'm cheap. But the asking prices on this one are about $100. So if I did want one, I'd have to pay $100 because you can see here $100, $99.99, and then 9.8, $289.99. So 26 watchers on that as well. So a lot of eyes. And then there's another raw copy asking $250. Bottom line is cheapest copy is $100. So you're not going to see me with another picture with the thumbs up because this one gives me pause. I just don't want to spend that much. But that's because I'm cheap. I'm cheap in what I like to buy because I don't have to have it. I'd like to have it. So I'm going to keep my eye out and see if I can find one for less. And I'm pretty sure I can. I'll find one for less than 100, maybe. Maybe I won't, but we'll see. That said, I still really like it, and I will be looking for it. But here we go. Surprise, we actually do have a number 4. I think it's because this was a weekly title. Marvel actually gave issue 4 a 1 in 25 variant. And this one has like a lot of Joe Mad vibe to me, but it's not Joe Mad. It's Gerardo Sandoval, if I'm saying it, or Gerardo. I don't know. My enunciation or pronunciation is not great. But also January 2015, 1 in 25. This one print run starts to dip a little bit, goes under 40,000 at least. Well, the other ones were in the 42 range. This one goes under 40. So our incentive is just under 1,600 copies. And like I said, it has a strong Joe Mad vibe to me. But what do we got in the census? Only 10. 898s and 296s for our census count on issue 4 of Wolverines. And a raw copy sold for all of $5. So not an expensive one, this one. And well, for $5, I'm curious. I'm definitely curious what's available. Can I get one for 5? I can. I didn't though. We're not getting a thumbs up because I didn't do it yet. But there is one for $5. There's copies for $11, $12, and about $20 raw, and more than this. There are copies available. I do kind of dig it, but I don't know. $5 is about where I might tap out. I might have to see if that seller has other books so I can spread out that shipping cost, over a multiple book. I don't know. Plus, I don't need to have it. I just kind of like it, but we'll see. If you guys like it more and you want to beat me to it, go have at it. Yeah, I won't be mad. You'll actually save me from spending my own money. That said, that's it for Wolverines. Those are our 4 issues. But we're not done yet. I'm going to move over to G.I. Joe real quick, just to kind of wrap us up. We're going to hit up G.I. Joe because G.I. Joe 300 just came out from IDW. They finished up the series, wrapped it up. They will no longer have the G.I. Joe comic title. I'm not sure where it's going next, but we'll see. We'll see. Just no longer with IDW. And as much as I like those incentive variants that they've had over the years, I'll still go and collect them. It's sad that we won't get any more, at least for a while, unless they get the title again. But let's go back. Again, issue 300 just hit, but let's go all the way back to issue 212. This was the death of Snake Eyes. So this was a big book for them at the time. And there are multiple covers for this. This one in particular is the Emerald City Convention book. So it is a wraparound cover. It has A ton of characters on it. I think all of the GI Joe characters on this one. It's plenty of them to be had there. You can go and do a Where's Waldo if you want me to have some fun. I can be like, Where's barbecue? Go ahead and see if you guys can find barbecue, or shipwreck or something. I don't know. We maybe one of these days we can make that a fun game. But that all said, I don't have this book, so we can't do it with my copy. We'll have to use an internet picture. This is an Adam Rich's cover, Emerald City Convention, March of 2015. This is when the convention took place, so this is where this book was. And based off of information out there, the print run on this one was 1,200 copies made for the convention. So we have a number. It's I don't know if it's an estimate, if it's a solid number or what, but that's the number provided, that there were 1,200 copies of this book available, at least at that time. In the census, we have 117 of them, with 109 9.8s and 7 9.6s, and a single 9.4. Interesting. But this book sells. This book sells. So there are copies, and they move. Granted, somebody got a great deal, in my opinion, at $12.50 with 6 bids. I'm telling you, you don't auction this stuff unless you want to run that chance that you're going to sell it for $12. So I would have definitely been in on this if I had been shopping for this on November 20th, but I was not paying attention at that time. So I missed that one. There are some signature series copies that also sold for best offer on 150. 98 SS sold for all of $64, and then a $65 back in October, also 9.8. I don't like signature series, but that's not too bad for a limited convention book, and it's just 9.8, and CGC signature series, so it's not terrible for that price. But you know what? Outside of that $12 copy, I went to go look and figured, hey, with all these sales, and there's more than the 4 I shared with you, all these sales, I can probably find a copy, right? No, there were none up. There were none available right now. I was kind of disappointed because I kind of want it. They got the Hiss tank in the background, that Terradrome. I don't know, kind of wanted it, but no copies right now. What are you gonna do? Oh, but like I said, there were more variants for this title, so I do have another one for you. Another copy of 212. This was from the GI Joe convention. This was from the JoeCon, I think, as they affectionately call it. The next month, the JoeCon was in April of 2015. This is a Derek Charm cover that actually puts Zartan's band. What is that? Cold Slither. I think Cold Slither was the name of their band, and I'm trying to read it off the cover. And Gem and the Holograms. It's kind of a mashup. So JoeCon had a fun little mashup of popular 80s properties, and I kind of like it. But it being at the 2015 GI Joe convention, they did not give an estimated print run that I could find. At least in the research I was able to do, I couldn't find a number to give you guys as to how many they actually made for this convention. I don't know if it's 500, 200, 100, 300, who knows, 1,000, 15, 3,000. I have no clue. No clue. So we'll leave that as a mystery for now. What is not a mystery, though, is that there were only 6 copies in the census, with 4 9.8s, a 9.6, and a 9.0. So not a lot in the census for this book. And one of those copies looks like it sold. That 9.0 sold for a best offer on $135 back in November 17th. So not that long ago, like 2 weeks ago, that sold. Or 10 days, 11 days, whatever you want to call it. Interesting. But much like the Emerald City Convention, I wanted to find one because I like it. Couldn't. No copies available. No copies available. So out of luck for now on this one. But I think it's kind of cool. Cold Slither, Gem. Kind of want one. But we'll see if I can find one. See if you guys could find one if you're also interested. But with that all said, this week we had a bunch of hard to finds because there were a lot of copies of some of these books. I mean, a lot of copies in the sense that there's like 6, maybe 3 or 2 in some cases, but all of these were only hard to find using our rationale of there's only one or none to be considered a ghost. So with that said, we did get 4 because both GI Joes had no copies available. Hyperion 1 had no copy available, and then Hyperion 2 had 1 copy. So for this week, we will call these 4 our ghosts because there's just not copies to be had if you wanted to go shopping right now. Again, it's a moment in time. This could change, and next week somebody could drop a whole bunch of Hyperion variants out there for all we know, because I gave you the print run estimates. There should be copies of those two out there, but they just aren't there. And with that said, that's what we got for this week. Those were our ghosts. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you're still enjoying this series. Thanks for stopping by and checking this out. I appreciate you all. Like I said, come back tomorrow for the tax show. We'll go over the old wizard from, I think we're hitting up 2002. So we're going back 20 years to check out what was in the wizard for December. And it should be a lot of fun. And I'll announce some of the giveaway options for our 12 Days of Christmas. So it's Christmas time. I got stuff to give away, so I'm going to give it away to you guys because, well, I like giving away stuff. I like spreading the love and spreading the comic collecting joy, I guess, if you will. That said, I'll see you guys later with some more content. Make sure you come back, tell your friends, and let's keep growing the channel. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. All right, later.